everybody. I am super excited to be here tonight for Monday Night Live. When Christina and April actually asked me to lead this, um, I was very honored, and even more honored when I heard what they wanted me to talk about. So, we're going to be talking about duplication. And so before I started and shared like this PowerPoint with all the great things in it, I needed y'all to hear me when I say I am not a master at duplication yet. This is something I am in the middle of becoming an expert at. And so I need you to hear me when I say that. I haven't hit the goal yet, the big goal. I'm still right in the middle of it, right in the trenches. I'm not diamond yet. I haven't hit emerald yet. I'm working on re-ranking. And this is what I found was going to be the key to doing that. And so I know that there are others who are in the same boat as me. So a little backstory, because 3 months ago, my business looked very, very different. So 3 months ago, it was Leaders Retreat, really, was my very first in-person Plexus event because COVID happened. And so I had never been to one in person. And it was there, and this is just a plug for in-person events. It was there that I really decided to take action. Like I made the decision, I will take action on this. And when I say action, I don't mean going through the things and checking them off. So I'm not talking half-hearted action. I'm talking like full force, scare you half to death type of action. I was completely terrified of the things I had to do and the things I knew I had known for a while that I needed to do. And when I began taking action, I still had all those thoughts. And that's one of the biggest, if you hear anything tonight, I want you to hear this. I had all this thoughts still when I made the decision to do all the things and actually do it with my whole heart, to the best of my ability. I was terrified. I had all the thoughts again, still, that I am not smart enough, that I'm going to fail, that I won't be able to lead well, that people are going to walk away again. People that I loved and invested in will walk away again. If you notice, all of those statements started with I. So it was a lot of me, me, me. And then I just decided to take the actions, not knowing what I was doing really, but doing the things that my leaders had been telling me to do. So I just kind of decided it was okay to admit to my uplines that I didn't know how to duplicate really because I had not been practicing. And I decided to use them and be okay with messing up and be okay with having them help me learn to do this. And so that's kind of where I started. So again, tell you guys all of that because I need you to hear me when I say I'm not the expert yet. I'm still learning. I'm still a student. I'm still sending screenshots to Christina and April a lot. I'm still receiving lots of coaching, still receiving, oh, that's so good. I love how you did this. So let's try this instead. I'm still receiving all of those messages. And it's okay. It's really good stuff. So before I started anything, I just wanted you guys to hear that. I wanted you to hear my heart and why I'm so excited about this because I am in the middle of it still. Okay, so enough from me. I am going to screen share and we'll see how we do. This is my first time doing this too. Okay. Can y'all see my screen? No. Okay.
When you click share screen, it usually comes up like little tiles and you can click like desktop, like you can pick what it is you want to show them. So it's probably going to be desktop.
I see that and it's clicked And then it goes to allow Zoom to share screen, security and privacy to grant access. It's never asked me that before. Okay. I am not seeing it. Other, nope.
When you click share screen, what does it say?
It's telling me that something about my I don't have access to it. It's like a privacy thing, I think.
Can you send me the, you want me to log in and share my screen? Log into your Canva?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Rachel, while you guys are setting that up, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Totally on the spot. But you said your business looks different now than it did 3 months ago. How does it look different now? What results are you seeing now that you didn't see 3 months ago?
Okay. So 3 months ago, I had one leg. I had one worker, one person that was working the business with me. And now I have one, two, three, four different legs. So, and that's just 3 months of consistency. And I've had fast start rank ups like developing silvers, and we're going beyond that now. So, that, I mean, it's way, way different than when I was at Leaders Retreat. And I get
That's
to lead,
fantastic.
leading people, which was not happening either because I mean, I didn't have a lot to lead. So, I actually get to step into that, which has been super fun.
That's awesome. Well, I cannot wait to hear how you did that.
Okay. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
All right. And Rach, just so you know, this stuff happens to all of us. This is completely okay. It's completely okay.
I guess I'm gonna have to figure out that setting, so I'll be doing that. But okay, so duplication. The biggest thing when it comes to duplication is it starts with you. And you guys have heard this, it's not new. But if you want to start or stop just adding to your team and start multiplying your team, then you're gonna have to dive into duplication. You're gonna have to become this unit, you're gonna have to try, fail, learn, and try again, and then repeat that over and over and over. Okay. So, mindset, no big surprise that this is the first thing we have to talk about. If you've been on any of our team calls, then you have heard this often that this business is 80% mindset, 20% skill. So, some things I wanted you guys to talk about. And maybe write these down. You can throw them in the chat if you want to, but you don't have to. Save it for later. I really just want you guys to think about when you hear the word duplication, what feelings come up? You're going to have feelings one way or the other. For me, when I heard duplication, I told you guys, I was terrified. Like duplication scared the mess out of me. I felt inadequate. I felt not capable, not smart enough. I felt like it was too complicated for me. And so I avoided the steps because I was afraid of them. So,
Cool.
whatever feelings come up, you need to know that those feelings started with a thought. And I told you those thoughts that mine stemmed from. So, you need to ask yourself, what thought is it that you're having to cause those feelings? You need to do a thought model on that. And if you are not sure what that is, ask your upline. They would gladly take you through a thought model. I do these still, and my uplines do them still because they tell me about them. So this is something we're all going to have to do from now until forever. And it's going to help you take control of your thoughts. And then you have control of your feelings, because your feelings are going to change when your thoughts change. Once you make the decision to be intentional with your thoughts and control them, your feelings are going to change. And then those actions are going to start changing. They're going to become more bold and more effective. So, mindset is key. You have to start there. And if your mindset is lacking, it's going to be really hard to move forward. And that goes in any area of your business, not just duplication. All right. So I don't even know if she remembers telling me this, but probably a month ago, April said to me, Rachel, I can tell that you don't just want change anymore. I can tell you're hungry. And so I was really thinking about that, like, okay, I wonder what the difference is in being hungry versus wanting something, because you can want change. There's a lot of people out there that want change. For instance, I would love to have abs like Christina, but I'm not hungry enough yet to make the changes it would need. I would need to make to do that. Okay. So just full honesty. Or maybe it's that I'm too hungry to make no, anyways. Okay, so I'm not hungry enough yet to make that change. Okay, so that's just an example. So let's talk about this in your business: hungry versus wanting something. And some of these are going to sound really silly, but just hang in there. So ownership. All right, we know what the word ownership means. So think about a house. I want you guys to go to the housing market right now. I was having a hard time. I was like, what's the opposite of ownership? So I literally Googled, what's the opposite of ownership? And the word that came up was renting. Okay, and so I really thought about this and tried to see how we could apply renting to our business when it comes to ownership versus renting. So if you want to move forward in your business, you need to examine yourself. You need to own the actions you've been taking. You're owning it. That's ownership. And then you have to fix you first. The opposite of that, when you think about renting an apartment or a house, it's not permanent, right? It's temporary. And so, what happens in our business when we're not really taking ownership is we see lots of back and forth, like a lot of back and forth. Now, I'm not saying, like, we all know there's ebbs and flows to our business, right? It goes up and down, and that's normal, but it's going up and down as it's climbing, right? So if you're renting things, it's gonna just look like a lot of forward movement and then backwards, and then forward movement and backwards. And that was me. That's been me for a very long time. Y'all, this is also biblical, taking ownership. Think about the scripture that talks about taking the speck out of your own eye first before you can turn and look at somebody else and help them. It's the same way with you and your team. You're not going to be able to help your team with until you help yourself with that. How can I help my team build develop business builders if I'm not developing business builders? I can't because I can't own the actions that it takes, because I'm just kind of mimicking somebody else, right? So taking ownership means starting with you and then helping your team. I'm going to spend the most time there because seriously, if you'll start there, everything else, all of this list, it'll kind of take place, like it'll fall in place if you'll take ownership. Because ownership leads to being coachable. The opposite of coachable is just uncoachable. Like, there's not a fancy word for it. You're either coachable or you're not. Someone who is coachable doesn't have excuses. Doesn't mean that things don't happen. I'm not perfect. But you can't make excuses for things happening. I mean, it's you. It's on you when things don't happen. People who are coachable, they figure out how to fix that thing. Like, whatever they, instead of making the excuse, they're going to be like, okay, this happened. This keeps happening. So how can I fix this? For example, I don't have enough time in my day. Yes, you do. So what do? You're either going to stay up later, you're going to get up earlier. Some of us do both. So you can fix things. There's no excuses. Um, Coachable means hearing your upline and then going and doing the things, not just hearing them. If you're not coachable, you're listening, you're taking all the notes, because we would never do this on purpose, right? And I never did either. And I didn't realize I was uncoachable until on a call with Christina and April. And Christina had to say, "Hey, Rach, so we've had this conversation a lot. So tell me why this keeps coming up." And that's when I realized I had been listening and taking lots of good notes, um, and never taking action, which meant I wasn't coachable. And I don't know about y'all, but that's a hard pill to swallow when you realize you haven't been coachable. Like, you haven't been listening to people who have been through this and are telling you, if you'll do this, if you'll take these actions, you'll move forward. So that's uncoachable. And that leads into being taking action or not taking action. So taking action means something like not saying, well, it's all going to happen in God's timing. While that's true, it will happen in God's time. He doesn't like, it doesn't mean be lazy and not do things, right? It will happen in God's time, but you have to be doing the things. So stop waiting for X, Y, and Z for belief or for the stars to align in just the right spot before you take the action, and just do it. Become a student is the next one. The opposite of becoming a student would be relying on your upline. So instead of relying on your upline to give you steps 1 through 10 on how to develop a silver, go to the team page. Go to the team page. You can follow the Plexus YouTube channel and find videos there. You can go to our virtual office and find videos there and tools there that you can use. We have books, we have old book studies we've gone through. I mean, the resources we have are limitless. You don't need your upline to tell you all the steps. The next thing someone hungry will do is fail forward. And the opposite of that is not failing. And here's the deal: if you want to move forward, it means you fail. It means you fail, and then you examine what you did, you learn from it, and then you go try again. And then you may fail again, and you're going to learn from it. You're going to examine it, figure out what works, what didn't, and then do it again. And y'all, it's like repeat. Like, you just keep doing that same thing. The last thing is you're going to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Somebody who just wants change, they're just comfortable, right? And they may say they're uncomfortable, but they're not really, because if they were uncomfortable enough, that they would go ahead and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That was really redundant, but just go ahead and decide it's okay to be uncomfortable. Go back again to your relationship with Christ. If you're a believer, then I mean, you shouldn't be comfortable, right? You should be uncomfortable, and that means you're growing again in your business. If you're super comfortable, you're probably not growing. Your points probably show that. So those are hungry versus wanting. And so I would line yourself up with those things and decide, am I really hungry, or do I just want change? Because for me, for a long time, I was on that want column. And when you get hungry, you'll start making changes. Okay, vision. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, shows the way. Can't do a call without Uncle John because he's super smart, right? So take a look at these questions, screenshot them, do something, and really think about these. Vision, I mean, you have to have very clear vision, because listen, if you don't know where you're going, your team doesn't know where they're going. Also, who would follow somebody who doesn't know where they're going? Like, so when you do a cruise and you do, like, you get off the boat and do an excursion, right? And you do, like, we did one in Mexico years ago, and we went to the Mayan ruins. Okay, our tour guide knew the way there, And then he knew everything about each of the things we were looking at, right? How awful would it have been if we had gotten there and he was like, yeah, so there's some rocks over there. There's a pile of rocks. So, you can go look at that. And then there's more stones that way. And then there's a cliff that way. Who's going to follow that tour guide? Nobody, right? Like, you want somebody who knows what they're talking about. It's the same here. Nobody's going to follow somebody who doesn't know where they're going. So think about this. Create your vision. Decide, what could your life look like for yourself, for your spouse, for your children, for your parents, for your friends? What could your team look like? What's the culture going to look like? What will your lives look like together as a team? What kind of impact is your team going to make together? And the last question I want you to ask yourself is this: if you don't do this, if I don't do this, what impact would that have? So, how many people could miss out on making an impact on other people's lives because of your lack of hunger and vision? That's a lot of people. Okay, so the next slide is what I think you probably are really looking for. But newsflash, we're going to read this list and you're going to be like, this is nothing new. Exactly. Also, I would like to point out that that little picture over there on the side is my team and we're missing one. Okay, so these are 3 of my level 1s, 1 level 2, and then I have another level 1 who's working. So I have 4 different legs. You can see 3 of them there. They are my people and I love them so much. And this is them at convention. So y'all, last year I didn't have that at convention. So I want you to know you can make change, because literally all this change happened in 3 months. So, okay, take action. It starts with the welcome call. And on that welcome call, you know what you're going to ask? The question. And if you want that flow chart, go in the team page, get the flow chart that Christina gave to us. Y'all, I started with that 3 months ago and I read it word for word. Once I got to the question, I went and said, okay, they said yes, so I'm going to go here. They said yes, but, and I'm going to look at those, because I'm telling you the objections you're going to get are those 3 on the bottom of that page. Okay, so you have your objections right there, and if they say no, you're going to do this. Then you flip over to the back and it gives you follow-up questions. Y'all, that's literally what I've been doing. I have not done anything new. So print that. I set it in front of me. Even now during my welcome calls, I still have it in front of me. I don't really need this sheet anymore, but I have it there as kind of like a security blanket for me, just in case. And it's okay. That's what works. So print that out, do the welcome call, ask the question. After that, you're going to continue connecting with these people. Like, you're going to be doing the retention with them, right? Because they just started, maybe. Or, well, they should have. If it's a welcome call, they just started their products or they're about to. So you're going to continue to do retention and customer care. You're going to continue to connect with them about life, about random things. Girl, I loved your headband in that picture. Where'd you get it? Oh my gosh. So I am wanting some coffee. Do you want to meet for coffee if they're local? All kinds of things, just connecting with them outside of Plexus. And this is where it gets fun, y'all. Like, this is the fun part. The part that used to terrify me was connecting and creating friendships with people, because I was afraid I was going to mess it up. And you're going to mess up at some point. But if you really care about people, you're not ever going to mess up that relationship with them. So connect, customer care. And then from there, if they said yes, I would share this, but, or if they said no, you're going to continue to follow up. Remember, no does not mean no. It means not right now. And in a little bit, I'm going to show you guys an example of that. So follow up. You're going to meet in person with them. Take them to coffee, or if they have kids, say, hey, let's meet at a park and have our coffee this morning while the kids play. And you're going to love on them, and you're going to bring up plexus. Okay, you're going to keep following up, meeting in person, ask to have a Zoom with them, phone calls, like let them hear your voice, let them see you. And then you'll notice my last 3 points are very original because you're going to follow up with them, and then you're going to follow up again, and then don't forget to follow up. Seriously, this is what I've done. And when I say follow up, I mean follow up with a business. Okay, so here's my example. And this is my sweet Ashley on my team. She wasn't in our picture, but I kind of wanted to, I'm not going to read all these to you guys. I wanted you to pay attention to the dates. I want you to see that she joined me in December of 2021. Okay, so you see her saying, hey, it's Ashley, let me know when it's a good time to call. This was our welcome call. Okay, so then the second page, we're just connecting again. Okay, so I wanted you guys to see us connecting. I asked her about Christmas, because here's what you should know. On the welcome call, she said she would share eventually. It wasn't even a yes, it was a might. But she absolutely needed results first. I mean, how many times have we heard that? So I continued connecting with her. And then we went from there. So I was doing retention. And then the third one, she's talking about her measurements, and I'm giving her advice on that. And then I asked to add her to our January reset, and we got that done. Okay, so here I use the January reset as a way to connect her to her community, because she just really wasn't open to sharing at this point. Okay. Thanks again, Christina. You're doing amazing. Okay, so then you'll see later I brought on, we had been talking back and forth. I kind of skipped around because this was really long. So I took screenshots of the highlights. So I'm connecting with her, and then I'm saying, hey, so a lot of people have accountability to continue their success. We're going through that. And she says, for now, I'd rather focus on doing this by myself, but something to consider for the future. So not a no. Asked about January reset again. I invited her to a Super Saturday viewing. She wasn't able to make it. Then she, on the third picture right there, she connects with me again. So you're going to notice she did a lot of connecting with me. And this was very different from my people in the past. And I thoroughly believe this is why. She was the first person I really started being intentional with about building a friendship. Like I didn't want, I took the word relationship out because it sounds so weird to me. Like that sounds so formal. And I decided friend because I love friends, and that was easier for me. So I just treated her like a friend. Like I had known her my whole life. So she's reaching out. She's telling me her wonderful story, her wonderful results, and then we just keep going. And I'm going to hurry up. I just saw the time. Okay, so we're talking more about the products here on this first one. I'm giving her advice. And then you see a voice clip up there. And I had asked her about making a post because she had such a great story at this point. And so I had asked her about making a post, thinking maybe that wouldn't be so intimidating for her. And you see, she's not against it, but she's still not ready yet, right? So she's asking questions about what she's saying. She's saying, thank you for understanding. And then she goes back, she comes back again. We're talking about the products. And she's talking about the face group book, or the face group group she's in. Oh my gosh, the Facebook group. Ooh, that was hard. So she's talking about January reset. So here's where she starts to get a little curious about other things. So use these things that our team provides for us, like the 3-day reset. Okay. We're getting there, guys. Okay, again, you're going to see I invited her to a Monday Night Live. She couldn't make it. We kept going, talking about her products in the meantime. And then I invited her to a book study. Okay, so now we're into February. Okay, she said no to the book study, and we're in February now. She joined in December. Okay, let's see some more. Okay, and here we go. This is where it gets good. Oh, and I cut the date off. Okay, but this is in April. All right. So I skipped on over to April. She sent me this screenshot of her workout she had done one morning, and it was really big for her that you can read. She said, I literally have walked over 5 miles today and worked out on the elliptical. I have so much more energy than I used to. I used to be so tired. This is so good for me. I'm like, girl, this is a huge deal. I'm validating her excitement. I'm getting her pumped. And we're talking back and forth. And then I switched to voice messages. And I am again about validating her. And then I start talking about, like, hey, you should really start telling people what you're doing. This is something so many people are looking for. And you see, she's still leery about it. She doesn't post a lot. And so I'm answering again in a voice clip. Now, if I went back and redid this, I would keep my voice clips at 1 minute or shorter. So we live and we learn, right? And she's saying, that's awesome. And then look what she says, like, what all do I have to do? And what if I don't like posting? And what if things happen and it's not for me? And so I'm encouraging her through these voice clips. And then here's where I really got her. She was finally open to hearing a little bit more. And I sent her our monthly income. And she's like, you see it. Wow, girl, becoming a diamond is awesome. And she wants to talk more about it. And you can see, I said, okay, we should meet for coffee. From there, we met for coffee at a coffee shop. And about an hour and a half later, we got up from the table, and she was so excited to go home and make a list of people that she was going to reach out to about this. So, not we're beyond posting at this point. Like, she was going to post, but she was also making a list of 10. And now Ashley in particular, she went above and beyond. She's a red, and she had a list of way more than 10. And from there, she started sending out messages. And this is why she has been Fast Start Silver and Fast Start Senior Silver, and she will be Fast Start Gold as well. And I'm so excited for her. Okay, so let's go to the last slide. And one more John Maxwell. If you don't change the direction you're going, then you're likely to end up where you're heading. Okay. And we'll end there. So I just wanted to end with this again and just say, guys, just make a decision to do things and do them wrong and learn from it. Like, just go ahead and swallow the pride and decide you're going to do things wrong, because you will. And then when you start doing the things, you'll start noticing change, and all of a sudden you become more confident. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means you're confident. So just wanted to leave you guys with that. I really hope this helped. And thank you guys for jumping on.